Hello everybody, I'm Francis Rumsey, an editor of the AES Journal, and I'm here to interview Chris Boehm about a paper of which he was first author in the April AES Journal. That issue was a special issue on augmented and participatory sound interaction using semantic audio. Chris's paper describes a fascinating new way to edit speech recordings for radio production, using a digital pen interface. We're going to discuss his work for a short while, so that you can understand in relatively straightforward terms what he did and why it's important. If it sounds interesting, you could go to our journal web pages and read his paper for yourself. So Chris, welcome. You talk about semantic speech editing at the start of your paper, and I wasn't quite sure what you mean really by semantic speech editing. So perhaps you could introduce us a bit to the term and what it means.
Sure. So semantic speech editing describes interacting with speech content or editing speech content using a semantic representation. In this case, we're using text. And this term was coined by Steve Whitaker in the 2004 paper on semantic speech editing, in which he showed that editing speech content using text is faster than editing using waveforms. And so that piqued my interest, especially now that automatic speech recognition is becoming much more accurate in recent years, thanks to advances in machine learning. And so that really opens up opportunities to make better interfaces for editing speech content using text in a more efficient and natural way.
Right, okay. So the idea was in editing audio, but by marking up a printed transcript of the speech.
Yeah, so I started off making a screen-based interface called Dialogger,
right.
And testing that on radio producers, and that showed a lot of promise. But one of the things I found while evaluating that was that a lot of people were working on physical paper and really enjoyed working on that medium. And so I was looking for ways in which we could try to embrace that rather than fighting against it. So I looked to develop a system in which you could edit speech content using a physical piece of paper rather than on the screen.
Okay, so I mean, do you see this actually being usable in reality rather than in the research lab?
Yeah, I think it's definitely getting there. It's more of a case of transferring all this technology into the business in a way that's managed and scalable as well.
I understand.
At the research department, we're very much on the kind of cutting edge. So the things we build aren't ready to be distributed to everyone in the BBC quite yet. But really, we're trying to demonstrate the advantages and find the disadvantages too of this sort of technology. So we're ready for that when it comes.
So I guess it sounds like it could be quite a useful way of doing a rough cut of an interview or something like that, after which then you could tidy it up using a conventional screen interface or something like that.
I think it's about giving producers the flexibility to work in a way that's best for them, or in a place that they work best or most creatively.
Yeah.
Rather than forcing them to use one or the other, just giving them flexibility to use the kind of tools they want.
Sounds like a good example of a human-computer interface, really. Yeah,
so my philosophy is trying to get machines to do what they're good at and get the humans to do what they're good at. So you have this kind of human in the loop where the machine's doing all the heavy lifting and all the boring jobs, and the human's doing all the creative jobs and all the decision-making. I think that's got real potential in the coming years to really improve these kind of creative processes.
Fascinating. Well, I'm most grateful to you for talking to me today. It's an interesting paper, and one that I think our readers could usefully go and look at for themselves, because there's quite a lot more detail about the work in the paper. So Chris, thank you for that, and good luck with the rest of the work in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me today.